Okay, guys, without further ado, we are ready to start. So thank you everyone for joining. It's 8 p.m. right now. Today is there will actually be news or rather the CPI for US later right about 9:30 p.m. So it will be quite significant, the CPI results. Believe they are pricing in that it will be slightly above what we saw the CPI last month, but just about 0.1 lah. I think the analysts are looking at about 2.4 for the CPI. So inflation will be up slightly for this month, but they have yet to actually come out with the actual number. It will only be released about 9:30 later Singapore time. So, welcome everyone. I'm Xiao Xiong, and right here with me we have Ying Jie, who will be doing the TA part and part of the webinar presentation. So we will kick off the webinar now. This is basically to introduce the Canadian market for those who are not very familiar with. For everyone here, the Canadian market is currently online on Poems. So if you guys are interested to trade the Canadian counters, you can actually place the you can place the orders online through the Poems app or even the P2 web. So okay, so the we'll be touching on the Canadian macro, which I'll be going through, and the overview of the financial sector in Canada. Then right after Ying we'll actually be talking about the mining and energy sector, followed by a technical analysis in the market trend. So at the end, I think Ying will be free and easy. He will go through any TA that you guys probably can request. If not, he'll be touching mainly on the Canadian first before going into the Q&A. So let us move forward. Right. So this was what I was trying to say. Canadian market is now up on our app and platform, Mobile 3 and P2 Web. So there's a QR right here. If you guys can scan, it will actually bring you to the Canadian page to inform you about the brokerage charges, the different details that you need for the Canadian market itself. So I'll just leave it here. This is a very basic walkthrough for the Canadian market and more of a quick touch on the current Canadian market condition. We are also looking to bring up the Euronext market for those who are interested. There is the Paris, Lisbon, Netherlands stock market. So if clients are interested to trade stocks such as LVMH, those luxurious brands or goods, Hermes, which are very popular counters with investors, do look out for the Euronext market being put up online soon. Yeah, so I'll talk about the Canadian macroeconomic landscape first. What you're seeing on this chart is a very quick summary of what has happened throughout the years. So the orange will be indicative for the US CPI. So if you look at the orange dotted one, right, at the back, it's actually the inflation. So you can see that inflation are coming down. Orange representing US, blue representing the Canada. They are of similar trends, so they play I would say rather a very close relation between each other. Then you look at the chart that's moving up. We have the orange and blue. Orange once again is US. The blue one is represented the Canada. So these are the interest rate. We can see that both of them are moving in line. Maybe Canada was slightly higher at the first few months. So, but that's not what's really important. I think what we need to focus is the current interest rate and the inflation that we are looking at right now, which is probably at the end of this chart, close to November. Yeah. So November, so today will actually be the release of the last month inflation results. That's what you all will be seeing later 9:30. So for US market and Canada, or rather all the markets will have major movement. So do look out for your position wise. Do also take note It's always good to be diversified. So You can see that the interest rate are coming down slightly right now. I think all the major countries are relatively scared of contraction, or rather, worst come to worst, depression or recession. We are looking at the inflation currently stabilizing, which is not a very good sign. It's converging lah. What this is not something we want to see. What we want to see is the interest rate, the inflation going down even further. But considering this chart, they are reaching the 2% mark. I think US is still slightly on the high side. But of course, it will take some time for them to calm down. So you can expect interest rate to be longer in long term wise lah. Like they will need the interest rate to be high, or rather maintain it for a longer period for the inflation to come down even more. So I'm going to talk about the GDP and the GDP growth for Canada. And one thing you will notice is that the Canada's GDP is the growth of the GDP is slowing down. Right after COVID, if you look at the left side of the chart, you can see that their GDP actually went up a lot after COVID, and their economy is very well, even until now, 2024. But if you look at the right side, they are expected to decrease even more. So you see the growth at 2020. So right after the growth, there was a decline lah, and then currently it's a spike and followed by a slightly decline. But overall, their GDP is very good. It's still maintaining on the very high side if you look at the left chart. So why I'm talking about the GDP growth is because this will actually be one of the impact that we'll be looking at. First, for the Canada side, will be slowing GDP growth, which is then after that, second will be the impact of the US tariff. So for those who are unaware, that Trump actually took position already, and he informed that there will be tariff charge on various different countries, and I mean especially China if you follow the news closely. So this is something that we really need to consider. Of course, diversification is something, but we also need to know that which specific country is impacted by these tariffs. So by implementing tariffs, it will actually cause a lot of problems. First, you will discourage trades between countries. I think especially the trade wars between US and the China side. And then at the same time, you will increase, or rather the citizens will face inflation as well. Why is because you impose these tariffs on goods that are coming into your country. At the same time, that means your consumer who used to buy all these, who used to use all these products, will actually need to pay higher on top of the tariffs. So this is something we will need to consider. And subsequent on the third part, which is the good one, is that we want the increased rate cuts by central banks, because higher interest rate is definitely not good for those borrower, and people will stop spending much more, stop getting loans because of the high interest rate. So they will need to cut slowly, not too fast, and this interest rate will actually be very beneficial for the banks. So if you look at all the banks closely this year, and even slightly last year, you could see all the bank stocks going higher and higher. But that doesn't mean that once the interest rate cut, right, they are losing money. I mean, they'll be losing from the interest rate portion, but at the same time, they get to loan out more because interest rate is lower now, and people will want to borrow. So they want to encourage growth between the economy lah. So this is something that we will need to touch on. And why I'm touching on this is because Canada has very strong financial sector. So I'm going to introduce some financial stocks later. You're going to see them doing really well. They are all the banks listed in the Canada, right? They're actually doing very well and paying very high dividend, and they are very stable, very reliable, and they are the foundation of the Canadian economy. So Canada is very interesting. They have very big markets, and if you heard of Canada, they are very popular for their banks, and secondly, the mining sector. So a lot of people who invest in Canada are buying mining companies similar to Australia because they have a lot of resource, a lot of mining companies over there. So next, I'm going to show you uh, these are some of the banks that you can take a look. Their revenue growth for so far is actually quite prominent. So you can search all these counters online. Do look at them. These are just a quick view that we did about last month. And then their P ratio are relatively stable. And what's amazing is their dividend yield. So they're constantly providing high dividend yield, and even their stock price are actually going up significantly. So these are some of the counters. Maybe later I'll get Ying Jie to go through a few of them lah. Just for you all to see. So yeah. Uh, Okay, so I'll just touch on the promos that we currently have. Once again, this is a very quick run through on the Canada stock, or rather Canada Stock Exchange and the sectors itself. So currently, for those who came in late, this is the new stock market that we have placed up online. You can trade Canada stocks online right now. You can even look at the different counters that is listed on the exchange on our Poems apps. And on the QR right, on the right-hand side, you can just do a QR scan. You'll get the information on our website regarding the Canada Stock Exchange. Okay. Okay, so this is the Poems account opening for those who have yet to open account with Poems. This is the QR. Do sign up with us because we are offering more and more markets, putting them online so that you can trade easier. Do So this is the account opening. Just do a quick QR scan, or you can actually go to our website, and then you can access the account opening right there. So currently, we also have the Telegram group channels by our global markets team. So they'll post news on a daily frequency, and then you'll get to see mainly US or even all the Hong Kong shares news as well. So if you have yet to join the Telegram group, please do scan this QR code and join. There's constant updates. I mean, it's free. It's nothing. It's more of just news that will be posted here. I mean, every morning or every night that you want to check, you all can just look into it. Next, we will talk about the mining and energy sector, which I'll hand over my time to Ying Jie right now. Okay.
So actually, very good evening, everyone. Very well. Okay. So just let you know, right? Actually, a very good is going to interview like Jack first, the hero, and the first, and the big rocks. Right? The first part, like, really, this really, and the world, not being energy, the financial, money, the lyrics, right? So, so it's all right. If everyone here, then because it's better now, better now, where like,
Okay, hello everybody. Is it better now? Still cannot. Is it still bad?
Great.
Okay, ma.
Yes, better.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. So sorry. All right. Okay, so anyway, okay, I restart. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Ying Jie here. All right, so like Xiao Xiong mentioned, right? Okay, this webinar on the Toronto Stock Exchange, right? We are just introducing like what Canada stock market is popular for. Okay, if you do a simple search on Google, you will almost always see like financial sector, mining, energy. Okay, for Canada, it's almost like a default lah in a way. All right, so why is Canada so strong in mining and energy as well, right? Okay, because firstly, they are a very major producer of critical metals, all right, minerals and metals. Okay, so as you can see, the first liner, 100 billion in minerals produced. Okay, so all these minerals, right, is I mean, the first thought in mind, you will always think that okay, minerals or metal, you can do a lot of products, right? You can, I mean, you see like even for microchips, you need metal. Clean energy as well. There's a lot of critical minerals that are used in this clean energy technology. All right. So with clean energy also now on a rampant, everywhere is talking about ESG as well. All right. So minerals are widely used. All right. At least I mean for the upcoming future at least. Okay. So they are one of the few developed nations, right? They are net exporters of energy, meaning to say um, basically they export more than they import lah for energy. All right. So also for their mining as well, precious metal can be gold, copper, nickel, iron, anything. Okay. They are one of the major exporter of precious metal and energy. Okay. So with this being said, right, as a country, like if the country itself is they have a lot of resources, right? So being a major player in that industry itself equates to stability in the company. Okay, it can be mining company, can be energy company, right? Any company that are like, I mean, basically they are established in Canada doing what they are good at, right? Or what they have in on hand in the country. Okay, it leads to stability in terms of how they can build the company itself. Okay, but of course, with all this being said, generally, overall, right, the company growth will still rely a lot on the precious metal prices. All right. So, I mean, okay, yes, this webinars came in slightly late, lah. Okay, I mean, our Canada Online we just placed Canada Online for clients to trade. Okay, but why do I say late? Okay, later I will show you the chart on precious metal, right? Especially gold. Okay, gold has been running and running and running to 2008 in recent months, right? So, I mean, if we are able to come up with this webinar or at least talk something about the mining industry, okay, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will take more notice on the mining industry or energy itself. Okay, so I think with this like this in this webinar itself, right? I think mainly I will still touch on a lot more on technicals. All right. Because I think the brief part of it, just to introduce what are they popular for, what kind of counters they are popular. All right. Then with that, I think Canada market more or less little when we go into the TA side of it, I will share with you more because firstly, what to take note of, right, for Canada Stock Exchange, the Toronto Stock Exchange, okay, is you cannot think of it is like a US market, okay, because firstly, uh, there's no I mean, okay, I wouldn't say there's no volume. The volume is lean, okay? If you compare it to US stock exchange, right, then of course you cannot compare, okay? Because US stock exchange is the largest, okay? Most volume. You can trade in out daily, no problem, because you have volume pushing prices up and down, okay? But the Toronto Stock Exchange, right? If you were to go into Canadian stocks, okay, it's mainly to invest. Okay, why? Because maybe you are looking at the financial sector. Okay, you are seeing bank prices going higher. Okay, with interest rates, or you can see like precious metal prices getting higher or stabilizing at 2.8K, 2.7K. So with that later with charts, I will explain more on the details of all these lah. Okay, but in terms of macro view and also like content in terms of how popular they are in which sector, this is what we have now. Okay, so any questions before we move on to technicals? Okay, so TA for this webinar slightly different, okay, because in the past we have been doing a lot of US webinars, right? So today, Canada market, okay, I will touch on the precious metals first, okay, then go into Canada stocks. Of course, if Q&A, you all really need US counters, TA for US counters, right? You just put in the Q&A lah, I will go through as well. Okay, but for the start, I will just kick off with precious metals, Canadian stocks, then any other Q&A. Okay, so without further ado, I will go into the technicals. 不用紧，先从这里选。trading view 可以哦。Yeah, give me a while. This one using Xiaoxiong laptop. So let me just set it up. Okay, okay, hang on. Let me just try something. Hang on.
Okay, so I'm gonna change my screen with Ying for a bit lah, because he has his charts ready actually on his computer. But meanwhile, I'm gonna send some information on the chat box with regards to the some of the market journals that we have prepared lah. Give me a second. So I'm gonna send you guys these are market journals that we actually wrote in recently about the Canada stock and of course leverage ETFs for you guys to read up. Meanwhile, I will have Ying Jie. Okay. Okay, I'll hand my time over back to Ying Jie right now.
Okay, okay. Can you hear the audio from like this? Right, because I'm more used to using my laptop. But I'm not sure why the audio is bad over here. But is it okay like this? Yeah, no. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, so the first chart we are looking at now, Toronto Stock Exchange. Okay, Confirm have to talk about this okay. Index. I think I will just run through. Okay, you can. This is on a daily chart. Okay, so basically from 2024 basically. Okay, which is around here. Okay, is a very clear uptrend on TSX. Okay, Toronto Stock Exchange. Okay, so this uptrend, I mean, of course, this year itself has been very good for the US stock exchange. I mean, basically, all the markets have been running quite bullishly, have been hitting all-time high, have been continuing their bull run. I think this movement itself, especially now, okay, we are coming to, I mean, it's December already, right? I think a lot of positions, it is better to trade lightly, okay? You don't have to go heavy in your positions because if the whole year you haven't been trading, right, I don't think December is a good time to jump in, okay? So even yes, we are sharing this webinar and also on charts, right? I don't think December you can go heavy on your positions. Okay, it is best to really wait for the new year. Okay, January comes, February, when everything stabilizes already. I think it's easier to invest. Even though if you are, let's say you're investing, right, you're holding for a long duration, right? I don't think in December you should go heavy on your position. Okay, just go like want to trade can just don't play too big. Okay, so Toronto Stock Exchange, okay, uptrend, very clear uptrend. Recent days, okay, 3 days of bear candles, okay, but overall, right, I think in terms of how the market has been running, right, is bound to have some correction, okay. With this kind of movement coming upwards, you basically seeing. Okay, later I will show you a bit onto US also, okay, to do some comparison. Okay, when you are seeing a market moving like a staircase, right? Yes, it's very safe and sound because they are moving outwards slowly. Okay, it's quite stable in a way. Okay, but always take note once a correction starts to come in. Okay, the correction can be any catalyst, can be a war. Okay, but of course, okay, when I say war, okay, I touch wood, let's hope nothing happen. Okay, when I say war, right, of course, your gold prices will fly. Okay, so when gold prices fly, okay, mining companies generally they can stop producing. Okay, with their inventory itself, they will still make, their revenue itself for for that period will still be high. Okay, because when gold prices start to fly, their exports get, they earn more lah, basically. Okay, so but I think overall in every market, right, we are bound to see a correction. I don't know how soon. Okay, but with the chart running one way, right, is you just don't be the last person out lah. Okay, later I will share some US index also. Okay, so with that, Toronto Stock Exchange, yes, uptrend, very nice. Okay, not sure anyone is trading Canadian stocks now. Okay, but generally we are still looking on an uptrend. Okay, so anything below, right, if price starts to move downwards, the safe level will be around 22,000. Currently trading at 25,500. Okay, so a correction might be coming in. Okay, so with that, let's go into. Sorry, I need to divert a bit. I need to compare to show you all. Okay, we go at S&P 500. Okay, it's the same idea. Okay, S&P 500, same thing. For the start of the year until now, uptrend, one-way straight staircase, climbing the staircase is the same idea. Okay, but if you have noticed, right, the movement itself, for every burst that they try to make an all-time high, right, the movement itself is getting narrower. Alright, so it's basically like a converging triangle, lah. Okay, which is, you see, okay, they are like this. The higher high is getting thinner. Okay, not thinner, sorry, narrower. All right, so have to be very careful with your positions. Okay, because the thing about all these prices that are running to all-time high, right? Of course, yes, there's always a higher high. Okay, but when you are in a position, I think generally if you went in early, right, you are always in the profits already. Okay, so you don't have to really go heavy at this point. Like I say, December is not a good time to really go into anything. Okay, you want to play 1 2 day, sorry, not 1 2 day. You want to play 1 2 weeks, okay, to trade small positions, fine. Okay, 1 week, fine. Okay, but just don't go too heavy. Keep your ammunition, okay, your war chest ready for next year better, I think. All right, so same thing. US equities itself, index itself they are generally just all on bullish run. Okay, so with that, I will just look into gold now. Okay, so like I said, you see, gold this year, same thing. The last price that for this year, right, at the start of the year, right, the price was trading at 2,000. Okay, end of the year, okay, throughout this whole year, right, they hit 2.8K. Okay, 2,800 $800 increase in gold. Okay, say real $800 increase, right? You see, even during the COVID days, right, the down move and the up move, right, the swing itself is only $400. All right, so this 800 move, say real, is really, really very fast. Okay, those that are even holding physical gold, right, you will know that 999 is trading at, like, if you want to buy, it's at $130 now, 130 plus, right? So if you are holding physical gold, you go and sell, you are in huge profits also, right? Okay, so but why I need to touch on gold is being the precious metal, right? Canada mining industry is very huge on mining gold as well. Okay, so with high gold prices, right, generally the company will do better as well. Okay, so is there any more upside for gold? Okay, still same thing. I will always say the same thing. It's still on an uptrend. Okay, very, very clear uptrend. But the problem with the uptrend is, right, as of now, the closest level that they are supporting 2.5K. Okay, so anything if they can support at this 2.560, right, 2.5K lah, basically. All right, price would still be a range area. Okay, 2.8 again, possible. Okay, because firstly, gold, you see, the funny thing is also, right, gold is like almost like a safe haven. All right, so when there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, gold prices will usually will be bullish, right? But this year is a very funny, I would say. Okay lah, I don't want to say funny. It's just a scenario that I feel very uncomfortable. Why? Because equity is going higher, okay? Gold is going higher, okay? US dollar is climbing up. crypto is flying. Okay, so basically everything is on a bull run. Okay, everything lah, almost every asset class is on a bull run. Okay, so with that, right, it makes things very uncomfortable because you generally have a lot more people throwing money into the market. Okay, regardless any asset class. Right. So in the event where any of these asset class starts to turn, right, start to make a correction. I mean, every bull run confirm got correction. It's just how wide the movement. Okay, 5%, 10%, 20%, we don't know. Right. It's only when it starts to happen, people start to fear, they start to dump away their whatever holdings they have. Okay. But the problem now is, I mean, this is just my personal view. All right. Everything is going higher and higher and higher. Okay. Generally people just don't like to hold cash lah. Hold as much cash. Okay, not say don't hold cash. It's just not as much. Right. I mean that's just my own thoughts. Okay. I mean I might be wrong lah because they might be taking their profits from somewhere to throw into somewhere else. Right. But my general thought is it's just very uncomfortable because everything is almost on a bull run, which is very scary. Yeah, but I'm not saying that they cannot go any higher. They still can, but I will just be very careful on my positions also. Okay, so just want to show you the gold chart. Okay, it's on a bull run. Toronto Stock Exchange is on a bull run. Generally, to end off this year, right, everything is almost in the greens lah. Okay. Then also I just want to add on before I go into the stock, all the individual stocks, right? Canada market generally volume wise not as much as US market. Okay, so it will be, I mean, it will be, I think it's more normal, right, to just invest in it instead of trading it daily. Okay, because it's the same thing, it's opportunity cost, right? If you want to trade in the Toronto Stock Exchange, right, I rather you take the money, trade in US Stock Exchange. Okay, it can be the same industry. Like for example, Barrick Gold. You have gold on US, listed on US. Okay, Barrick Gold, right? This one is the mining company, Barrick Gold on US. You also have Barrick Gold on Toronto. Okay, so for example, you want to trade on gold, Barrick Gold, it's better that you touch on the US one. Okay, I mean, even though yes, this is the Canadian market webinar, right? But I want to be very frank. Okay, Canadian stocks, I think it's smarter in a way to just invest instead of trading it. Okay, then also you also know lah. I mean, gold prices, financial, okay, energy, all this is really holding long term one. Okay, you are not trying to whack like a tech stock. Okay, like Tesla, you are not trying to gain that few dollar in a day. Okay, all this industry is almost impossible lah. Okay, it is possible. Sorry, say wrong. It's possible, but it's very rare. Okay, so you Toronto Stock Exchange is mainly, I mean, put your money there, hold it there, invest in it, and let it grow over the years. Okay, not to go in out every day lah. Even though if you see the setup is there, don't. I mean, the volume is not there to push anything. Okay, when you don't have the volume, price will move. Simple as that. Okay, so you all got any questions or any counter want me to see? Okay, now I will just go through some Canadian stocks. Then later, if any other Q&A, I will just go through from there. Okay, so since I'm on Barrick Gold, okay, this Barrick Gold is on Canadian Stock Exchange, okay, but then the chart you see is very similar to the US because they are the same they are the same company. Okay, but for this webinar stake, I will use the Toronto Stock Exchange. Okay, so Barrick Gold, huge range. Okay, yes, gold prices went up, gold prices came down, gold prices is still going higher. Okay, so generally, I think this uptrend since this year, right, they will still continue. They are still not making any lower low. Okay, they are still moving quite nicely. Of course, trend line, I mean, some people like to draw like this, right? They tell me, oh, now it's the flip of a downtrend. I mean, can also, okay? But generally, why I don't see it as a turn of a downtrend, right, is because I take it back to the gold chart earlier. Okay, generally, they are still not turning, okay? They are basically still in a range bound. So to me, if the company itself, I'm not, I mean, if you want to be very clear of this company, what they are doing. Of course, you still need to read their financial, their statements, their books and everything. Okay, but for me is I just look at the chart. Okay, they are still on, I mean, not a very strong bull run. Okay, they are still on uptrend. Okay, why? Because we have a higher out of all this range of the year. Okay, for this year at least. All right, and technically, price is still holding on a higher low. Okay, the only time they start to break low, right, is when they clear this $21 level lah. Okay, so technically they are still on an uptrend. Okay, it's just recent days, yes, price starts to come down. So if you are looking to do anything, I think a better area, in my opinion, okay, a better area will be at 21. Okay, don't bet on this 23 to hold anything, okay, because I mean the price already starts to reject, starts to thin out, and also now December, just give it one more month to run out, then we see where's the price for a continuation. All right, so today a lot of counters, I think, is basically just to show you how is it looking now? Okay, what can we expect in the next month? Okay, because like I explained again, okay, December you want to get position, can go small or go small, okay? But I don't think it's very wise to just go and whack heavy, even though if let's say you see a very strong bullishness in the company. Okay. So next stock, let me just go and see these. Okay, this one is from TMX Money. Okay, basically it's the Toronto official web. Okay. So I see this what I want, what I'm looking for, volume. Okay, you see the volume. This is the highest volume okay, of the yesterday's trading day. Okay. 24 million. Okay. And 10 days average 16 mil. Okay, this is why I say the volume is definitely, yeah, I mean you definitely cannot compare to US market. Okay, 24 mil traded this one. Okay, so it's just very thin. No? Okay, but not saying that thin you cannot invest. Invest, yes, can. Invest like SGX, SGX volume also very thin. Also, a lot of people like to invest in it, right? Because it can give good, it gives good dividend. Okay, then also, yes, some like our banks, right? Okay, SGX banks, all performing very well, right? You still make money out of it. So it's completely fine. It's just that you don't go in and out in the position. All right, so let's look at the first one, CNQ. Okay, we just look through a few like CNQ, like some of the names that I see, I know one okay, some I don't know, I won't go through. Okay, so CNQ, the name I think suggests that it's a resource company, right? Canadian Natural Resources Limited, right? Okay, so without touching on to their books or financials, okay, just looking at the chart itself, I would say nothing fantastic. Okay, I want to be very honest. This one, nothing fantastic. Okay, because considering how every other companies have been running, right? This one, technically, yes, they did run quite nicely at the first half of this year, right? Bull run all the way 56, hit an all-time high. Generally, yes, they will start to slow down. Now, currently, range bound. Okay, CNQ, nothing fantastic. Yes, even though top volume, okay, but nothing nice. It's basically just going to be stuck in this area of 44 to 50 level. Okay, I don't even need to look further. It will just be stuck until they clear 50. Okay, so this one I also not going to tell you short term. Wow, you can look for this candle, look for that candle. No, nothing as such. Because I'm not going to tell you to trade this. Okay, the next one, Suncor Energy. Okay, this one US also have. Okay, SU ticker. You see, I put SU only, right? You have listed on US, you have listed on Canadian. Okay, Toronto Stock Exchange. So I will use same thing, use the Toronto Stock Exchange. This one, Suncor Energy. Bullish, okay. Sorry, not bullish, uptrend, okay, but technically it's in a range bound now. Okay. Whether they are turning downwards, right? Not yet lah. They are still far from it lah. Okay. They are basically just going to range bound at this area. Okay. One thing to note, right? Every time, I mean, those that attended our webinars before, right? Every time I say range bound, right? Range bound, I mean, there's only two things that happen in the market, whether they go up or go down. Okay, range bound is basically a place where you don't know where they want to go. Of course, short term, you might see like, for example, this guy will be going down, okay, towards $49. Okay, but generally, it's not changing any trend at all. Okay, yes, if you are short term in it, yes, you can look for this $4 difference to make a good maybe 8%, right? But if you are looking at long term, right, this $4 difference, right, technically there's nothing for you to see. Okay. So that's why a lot of if you are looking to hold a long term one, right, this is the most basic stuff that you always see online. You buy at support, sell at resistance. Okay. But the thing is, right, support and resistance will always change. Okay. Support and resistance, there's major support and resistance and minor support and resistance. Okay, this is I'm just sharing with you on how TA works lah. Okay, so when price starts to range like this range bound area, right? Generally, yes, they will come down. Okay, but in terms of how the trend has changed, right? Nothing has changed. Okay, they are still on uptrend. But range bound is because they are just don't know where to go already lah. Basically for now, because they hit all time high, take a break, then they see whether they can rebound from any levels. Okay. You all got any questions or not? Any counter or not? If you don't have that, I will continue because I just realized it's already 8:45. So if nothing, then I will just continue with all these Canadian stocks. Then I think next year our webinar we will do more. Okay, we will try to do more. Can be any markets already next year because we are pushing for Euro next as well. Okay. Xiao Xiao mentioned we pushing the few Euro markets up. Okay, so when that comes, our webinar will be, I mean, will still be US heavy, okay, heavily on US stocks, like market. Okay, but of course we will touch a bit more on here and there, okay. TD stocks, okay. Thank you for the question. TD stocks still good pick considering the lawsuit. TD, you talking about Toronto Dominion, right? Um, the lawsuit, this one, I haven't go and read all about the lawsuit, okay. But if I mean, okay, this one I don't want to jinx anything, okay. We already see a case of Credit Suisse, right? Like a bank too big to fail but fail, basically, right? So I don't want to say that TD supported by the government, right? Then no problem one. Okay, I don't want to say such thing because we already see one case already. Okay, Credit Suisse, huge bank. Okay, Swiss bank, but ended up also you also know what happened okay. So I don't want to say whether TD whether will it like survive. Okay, but of course, there's lawsuit. Every banks, right, will go through this phase about AML, right? Confirm have one. They got sued by like I mean even our local banks. There's so many banks getting fined previously, okay, for AML and like fraud related cases. Okay, so uh being a huge bank, right, in the country, like any country, they always run the risk of all these cases lah. But um whether it's a good pick, I haven't looked into their financials, okay, their statements. But if you ask me purely just on the technical, right, yes, price is reflecting whatever you ask, okay, about the money laundering, okay. Whether they will survive, I think for now still, I mean, nothing still too scary about it yet lah, okay, to be honest, okay, because I mean banks itself, if they are huge, too big to fail, right, um is I okay now because of the Credit Suisse case before, it happened before, right? I don't want to say the government will come in to support will come in and be the 靠山 okay, like the backing, okay. But I think for now, whether is it a good pick, you have better banks to pick, I would say. Okay, but chart wise range bound. Okay, yes, they have this adverse news, right? But technically price is still stuck in this range area lah. I think it's quite clear to see. Okay, they are still ranging at this area. Okay, so TA wise is not a good pick already. Okay, TA wise, yes, they are making a lower low, but they are still stuck. If you're looking into the financial statement side of it, things, right, or the news side of things, right, then of course it won't be a good pick already because the news already bad. You look at the chart also bad, then there's nothing to look at for now. Okay, so I hope that answers your question on TD stock, whether is it a good pick. Okay, BMO. Okay, Bank of Montreal. Too high now. Oh, earnings, right? Earnings, okay, the earnings came out 4 days ago, last week, basically, right? Last Thursday. Okay, too high now. Okay, it's not because, like I say, Canada stock, right? I don't think it's wise to go in to trade a day in, day out. Okay, so when I look at candles like this, right, like a very strong impulse candle, a very bullish candle, right, I usually, if I don't trade on it, okay, I don't go and chase it. Okay, so if you're asking whether too high now, okay, I would say no, it's not too high. Okay, but the thing is it smart to go in now? I don't think it is. Okay, because of how they ran out already. Okay, so because too high, whether is it too high? No, no, because technically, with this movement itself, they are still on uptrend. Potentially, they will still try to break 153 first. They will try to attempt until they fail to go through, then they will start to come back down as a range area. Okay, so whether is it too high now? No, it's not. But if you want to go in now, right? I don't think you can go in now, because it's better to really wait for price. I mean, this is my opinion, It's better to wait for price to start to give you certain form of support. Okay, you don't see, I mean, the price went too quickly. Okay, you don't know where they will stop or where they will continue the movement from. All right. So this is back to the simple like TA stuff. You just want to see price holding above 135. Okay, the print bull. Okay, at least you know that price is starting to show more demand at this level. Okay, to indicate that this bull movement, initial bull movement is the real intention, then we can try to see higher prices. Okay, but overall, is the price too high? No, it's not too high. Okay, because generally with this movement, I think they will still want to target 153. Attempt lah, at least they will try to hit into that level first. Okay? Okay, well, thank you for all your counters. I think you see the counters faster than me. Okay, okay. This one, RY, Royal Bank of Canada. Well, this one, out of the few that we see on Toronto Stock Exchange, this is one of the nicer one. Nicer for this year. This year. Okay, bull run, very clear. Climbing the staircase, easy up. Okay, easy bull run, basically. Okay, any more up move? I think generally, yes. Every bull run, right, you don't go and try to short first. Okay, if you are looking at like contrarian mindset, right? Wow, too high already, cannot go any higher. No, high already will go higher. Okay, that's why you have a new higher high. All right, so every bull run, I think always just follow the trend first. Okay, this one I think quite clear. Okay, follow the trend first until they show otherwise, which they start to show a lower low. Maybe for this case, it's at 160. Right, it's around here. So once price starts to dip below 163, 164, okay, then maybe the trend will start to change. Okay, but of course, if that happened during the earnings, then you have to take with a pinch of salt, okay, because earnings always have more volatility, so price will start to swing bigger, wider. All right, so this is still on a bull run. If you are in it, I'm not sure if any one of you are holding any Canadian stocks. If yes, then maybe mostly, it's like finance, mining, right? RY, Royal Bank of Canada, I think they still have leg for up move. Okay, it's just that same thing. Now December, you want to go in now. I don't suggest that Okay, it's best that you maybe wait at between this area or 163, 164 to 173 area. Okay, this whole area here, once price starts to reject again, I think they will try to go higher from 180. Another bull run. Okay, so it's the same idea, because if back here you see all-time high already, you have to wait for the small retrace. Okay, let market absorb, then start to go. Okay, it's always a zigzag basically. Worth considering Suncor. If Okay, this one my opinion. This one I must always say, okay, because when you all ask me about counters, right, I don't want to give you any recommendation. Okay, I cannot give you any recommendation. Okay, I give you based on my opinion. Okay, what I see, I tell you what I see. Okay, basically I just verbalizing what the chart is showing. Okay, so it's still up to your own way of interpreting. Basically decipher what I'm saying. Okay, for me, Suncor, right? 49. Okay. Whether I want to consider, I may probably wait 49. Because I mean, just looking chart alone, right, you have this bearish area. Firstly, yes, okay, here might support 52, but do I know whether they will support there yet? I don't know. Whether demand will come in yet? I don't know. Okay, so this whole area from this 53 to 52, yes, $1 difference. Okay, I want to see what happened here first. Because anything lower, right, they will just come to 48, 49. So for me now, Cycle Energy, I won't consider. Okay, if your question is whether I will consider, I won't consider. Okay, at least not for now. Okay, then now like I tell you already, December I won't invest in anything. Okay, this one also personally, I just tell you upfront. December I'm not investing in anything. Trade, yes. Okay, intraday, one day in, day out. Yes, that one trade confirm will. But investing, I will just hold on, wait for better opportunities, okay? Because like I also think okay, a lot of prices just keep going higher and higher, right? You think about it in the very simple terms, like I always like to have this own understanding, okay? December, what's coming up? Christmas, okay? Holiday season. What happened during holiday season? People like to spend. Spend on retail, spend on holidays, spend on luxuries, like luxury items, anything can be spending basically. So to spend where they take the money from, if they are investing, they take from the profits. Okay. If they are not investing, then no choice, work and earn more, right? But generally, if they are going to take profits from the market, meaning to say they are closing their positions, okay, might not be all, might be some, right? So when the holiday seasons come, right, everything starts to go a bit different. Okay, it's not like the normal mindset, like, okay, I have faith in this company, I think they're going to go higher profit, I just hold everything out. Okay, December, okay lah, I sell maybe half of it, maybe 25% of it. Why? Because I just want to spend. I profit already, take profit, come and spend. Okay, so this is just my own personal thoughts on December. Okay, can be true, can be not. Okay, it's just my way of thinking that help me avoid December. Okay, because same thing I need profit, I don't want to throw back into the market and lose money. That should. Okay, I don't want to jinx but when you're making profits, it's always nice to buy yourself something. All right, treat your family or whatever. So I think I think I'm nagging a lot on all these sidetrack already lah. Okay, but Suncor Energy worth considering, not for me now. Okay, okay. Thank you for all the counters. So anything else? Okay, I think I probably got another 2 minutes. So if you all want to throw in one last counter, okay, then I will just squeeze that one last counter out. Okay. Now Canadian dollars are cheaper. I last check. One Canadian to 0.95. Yeah, Canadian and Sing dollars, right, is always almost on par. Okay, 1.0 something, 1.1 at most. Right. So it's always just swinging up and back and forth. But Sing dollar strong. Okay, Enbridge. Okay, this one last one already. So um with this, right, okay, I'll just go through this chart first, since it's the last chart I'm going to talk about. Okay, Enbridge, same thing, uptrend for this year. Okay, very clear uptrend. All-time high, yes, all-time high. Oh, no. Ooh. Okay, we got one more level at 65. Okay, so Enbridge, chart-wise, uptrend. They just recently broke their major range area. Okay, if you know what I'm talking about. This whole area here, right? Okay lah, now broke already. Y'all will say, oh, easy for me to say, right? Range area. But of course, there's a lot of series of smaller, minor, like, minor ranges. Like the market always run in major and minor moves. Okay. Every minor move will become the major move. Okay. So once this major broke, right, I think the important level that if you are in or you are looking to get in, I think a strong level to look at is around 58.7, $56. All right, around here. Okay. Reason being, we have this whole area of movements, right, that are, I mean, basically they have been moving like this from 2015 to 2024. Only this year. Recent months, then they start to break higher. Okay. This whole movement of 35 to 50, 35 to 58, basically. Okay. Price starts to get higher, right? So once the volume start to kick in, okay, because they start to break their previous whole range area, okay, you will start to see higher low and higher high. Okay, so that's why I say 56 to this level, 56 to 58, right? As long as they can continue to trade higher, they show bullish candle closing higher, closing off this 58 level, right? We will see average attempting 65 again. Okay, how fast I don't know, because like I said, volume in, I don't know how fast, how wide they run in a day. Okay, 50 cent, 50 cent, 50 cent, for 50 cent until 65, you go in it like quite a while. All right, so but generally still uptrend. This year itself is uptrend already, breaking away from their major area. All right, so as long as they hold 56, 58, bullish candle, we will be targeting at 65. Okay, all right. Okay, so with this is the last counter already. Okay, I just want to add on a few more things, right? Before we end off this webinar. Um, like moving towards 2025, okay. What like is there any kind of webinars you like to see, like to view? Okay. You like a more like a, like a, how do I call it? I suddenly forget the word, like like conversational podcast, or you like a macro kind of webinar, or you like a pure TA webinar, or you like a I don't know, TA walkthrough or whatever walkthrough options. Okay, so like what kind of webinars will most of you be interested in? Okay, so because I think apologies also lah, 2024 GMT hasn't been doing as many webinars. Okay, we are quite tied up with manpower and like projects coming up with new products and everything. Okay, just want to explain a bit. 2025 we will try to come up with more stuff, right? So we want to see like what will you be interested in. Okay, we want to move towards that direction. Right, it can be podcast also. So okay, not every day lah, maybe every month or bi-weekly, right? We can come in and have a chit chat, talk about market, can talk about anything under the sun, right? Stuff like that. Okay, so at least because we also don't want to do work that, like for example, we come up with a webinar, right? Then wow, we see the audience less than 50, wow, or okay, maybe less than 20, less than 30, right? We come out, wow, I put 1 hour, 2 hour, come in the office earlier, then we talk about, I just enjoy talking about it. But sometimes I still want to see like, okay, at least, people are watching, at least we can have this conversation. Otherwise, I keep talking to myself, right? Sometimes I don't know what I want to tell you already, right? So if you have this ongoing back and forth, right? I think it will make things more interesting, and I can learn from everyone else as well. Right? We can learn from each other, lah, basically. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. TA indices and commodities. Okay, okay. So basically TA related, is it? Right, because if really you're all interested in TA, right, then of course we will try to see how we can cater for that. Okay, because TA is, like I say, I explained before, it's not just for like you want to invest or trade only on equities. Okay, it can be CFD, it can be options, right? Then I can bring in my option specialist to talk to you about options strategy that we can, you can just look at the chart. How are you going to squeeze some premium out of the options itself, lah, right? So there's a lot of ways to make use of all these opportunities. Okay, because if some of you, I'm pretty sure many of you are holding like a lot of stocks, right? So another way to leverage on your earnings, you probably can look at, selling of cost, option cost. Then you get your premium. Then, yeah lah, that one I will leave it to next year. Okay, and then other people come and explain to you. All right, but yeah. So for now, if you are more interested in TA, indices and commodities, okay, TA also got a lot of ways lah. You want it to be more like educational kind, or do you want me to just come in, look at counter and talk about it, which I used to do, right? So we will see. I will try to strike a balance, okay? At least try to share what I know or what I don't know. And also, with that, I think moving on to 2024, we will have more exciting webinars upcoming. Okay, then I think with that, right, I will end off the webinar. Okay, continue to trade safe. Okay, stay safe. Nowadays the weather very cold. Keep yourself warm. All right. Then okay, hang on, Xiao Xiong, anything else? Okay, thank you everyone.
Yep. So thank you everyone for coming. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Jessica, for all the counters that you've provided. Those are very good leading banks listed in Canada Stock Exchange. So once again, just to re-emphasize and summarize the whole webinar, Canada Stock Exchange is more for long-term investment. If you're looking to trade short-term wise, liquidity is definitely better in the US market. So Canada is mostly for your diversification purpose. Do take a look in the Canada stock market lah. If you guys are trying to diversify away from the US, do also take note. Some of the stocks listed in Canada, you can find it in US as well. They are dual listed companies. So these are actually like you can trade them both sides lah. Depending. But I believe there's some transfer involved. You will need to do some transfer to the other stock exchange. But you can do that as well. So if you are trading, stay safe. Once again, December is very crucial. Later, about 24 more minutes, you'll get to see the CPI report for US. So there'll be major movement in the market. So do look out for that news. And stay safe trading. I always encourage dollar cost averaging. Please do not dump all your cash into one specific stock. If you are doing long term, do limit your investment slowly. Like what Ying Jie mentioned earlier, December, moving to next year, it's gonna be tricky. We're gonna face a lot of different economy play style by Trump. So it's wiser to invest in small amounts. If it goes up, it'll be good for your portfolio. If it goes down, you can do dollar cost averaging. So that's why I encourage dollar cost averaging for you guys. So that's it. Stay safe for the night. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for coming. Have a good day ahead.
Bye bye. Thank you.